In this podcast, we interviewed Jason from WorldFirst. Now, you've obviously heard from eBay and Amazon that we should be trading internationally across the different sites. Now, this one thing, Dave, has got me curious because I didn't realise this until I started speaking to the guys at WorldFirst, how much, basically money, is being lost in the transfer of funds from one currency to another. I always just assumed, my novice look at this, which was that, PayPal probably takes some money from us for transferring the different currencies back into pound sterling, but I didn't realise it was actually so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just in PayPal that we see this, but we see it with banks as well. And actually what WorldFirst have done is really clever, and they've seen an opportunity to jump in there and offer a better rate to you guys as the business owners, and that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, so this is all about the numbers, and so if you're not selling internationally, then this podcast is not for you. But if you do accept foreign currencies, so if you're based in the United Kingdom and you're accepting euros or USD or Canadian dollars, or again in reverse to that, if you're in the United States and you're taking pound sterling or euros from your customers via PayPal or even via Amazon, then these guys, Amazon and PayPal, are charging you anywhere from 4 to 3.5% in the currency transfer. Now, the curious thing is that guys over at WorldFirst is that they can create you a bank account in that currency. So when you go to extract your funds from PayPal, for example, is that you don't pay the 4% conversion via PayPal. You transfer that money in the same currency. So just say it's a euros amount. You transfer that money into euros, into a bank account which is in euros, so you don't lose any money there in the transfer. And again, PayPal shouldn't charge you for that. But then when you want to transfer it back into your local currency, whether that's pound sterling or into USD, for example, instead of paying PayPal 4%, WorldFirst do it for 2%. So you save basically 2% on average. Again, we're doing the numbers and percentages around that on each transaction which you do. Now, that 2% may not sound like a lot of money. So even if you're taking 500 euros per week, so just say 2,000 euros per month, which is like on the lower end of the scale for the international marketplaces, is that you could be looking to save about £30 per extra. Now, where it gets really, really interesting is that if you're doing a much higher number, say 200,000 euros in transactions from the international marketplaces, is that you could be looking to save anywhere like between £3,000 to £4,000 in those transaction fees. And that's money in your pocket. So it doesn't matter if it's only 2,000 euros, you'll be saving 30 quid, which is a meal out with the wife, for example. Or you're transferring much larger amounts of money, which is really nice holiday, as the case may be. The devil in the detail with this one is in the numbers, and you're basically getting a better rate. So, Dave, I think that's probably enough of an introduction, isn't it?
Yeah, that's got that covered.
That's that got covered. So what you're going to do, what you're going to hear right now is an interview with Jason. He's the e-commerce expert over at WorldFirst, and I take your role. I ask all the dumb questions. And with that said, let's jump over and listen in to see what Jason's got to say. And again, we use some live examples with you, and we'll catch up there with you in a few moments' time. So, Jason, we've just had a quick chat here in the background, but for someone to listen to this, who are you and what do you do?
Well, thank you. My name's Jason Brankin. I am the global head of e-commerce at WorldFirst. WorldFirst is a foreign exchange and payments company, and what I specifically do is look after operations for our e-commerce clients. Now, we provide overseas local receiving accounts that our clients use to receive the proceeds of their marketplace sales locally. We then provide an easy-to-use and cost-effective way for them to get their money back home. Because what a lot of vendors don't realize is that they're not generally getting the best pricing when they're converting their overseas sales, and that's what we aim to help.
Right, okay, so this is all about the percentages, isn't it? So for somebody who's listening to this right now, again, I've just been and asked Jason all the dumb questions. Okay, so I see that, as we explained a few moments ago to Jason, I see my role here as trying to explain how this can benefit you and your business. So if you are trading in different currencies. So that basically means if you're selling in USD, Euro, Pound Sterling, or Canadian dollars, and you need to transfer those funds around in PayPal or in Amazon, for example. Jason, you explained that PayPal charge about 4% on the conversion and Amazon about 3.5%, something like that?
Exactly. So if you have money with a marketplace provider such as Amazon or PayPal overseas, when you ask that marketplace provider to convert your money back into your home currency, they'll generally give you a price that is around 4% wide of the market. What WorldFirst allows you to do is to receive that money locally, and we do the conversion for you. So we will get you a price closer to about 2%, and basically what that means for you is that you'll be able to net around 2% of your overall sales back into your pocket.
Mm-hmm. So let's immediately chuck some numbers around. Let's just say that I've got 2,000 euros in my PayPal account, which I've been and had from my European sales, so maybe say Germany or France or wherever. And at PayPal, if I convert that into pound sterling, they're going to charge me about 4%. How much am I likely to save using WorldFirst?
Well, just to give you a rough idea, if you had 2,000 euros sitting in your PayPal account, PayPal is more than happy to convert that money for you. You would get that back at a 4% markup. So today's prices, you would roughly get in pound sterling about £1,538 back in your accounts for your 2,000 euros. If you were to use WorldFirst, however, you would get about £1,568. So just off of that 2,000 euro transfer, you've netted yourself an extra £30.
Nice. Okay, I've got one other daft question to ask in a few moments, but let's bump the numbers right up. So let's say that we're turning over an awful amount, or a very large amount, should I say, in Europe. So maybe we're doing about €200,000, or sorry, euros per month in Europe. What kind of savings would I be looking at there?
So if you were to do it at £200,000, on today's current pricing, you'd be looking to get back in sterling using PayPal about £153,846. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you were to use our service, you would be getting around £156,862. So that savings is around £3,000 extra in your pocket.
Whoa. Okay, so then times that over the year, even at £30 a pop, 30 times 12, that's a nice amount of money. That's almost a weekend away. And on the much larger amounts, we are talking thousands of pounds difference.
Absolutely.
So again, I see my role here as asking the really daft questions, okay, which is that's fantastic that we can save some money there. And again, even if it's a small amount to be transferred. So if it's 2,000 euros for the month, that's only like 500 euros worth per week. Now, how does that work with PayPal? How do I transfer the money out so that you can convert it and I can make a saving?
With PayPal, just as well as with Amazon, they ask you to provide the account that you would like to disperse your money into. And again, they're more than happy to do that currency conversion for you because much like when you spend money abroad on your credit card, you don't really see the pricing until you look at your statement, perhaps, a week or two later.
Yeah, it's always really expensive.
Absolutely. So once a client signs up with us, we're able to provide them with a dedicated bank account domiciled in the Eurozone, for example, or if you're selling in the U.S., we can provide you with a U.S. dollar account based in New York City or a Canadian account based in Toronto. So you would just basically go onto your seller profile, whether it be in PayPal or Amazon, and instead of putting in your sterling account details, which would then prompt PayPal or Amazon to convert your money for you into sterling, you would just put in the details of that local account so that they would just disperse it locally in the same currency.
All right, and again, my job here is to ask the daft questions, which is, let's say that I've got a PayPal account and it's based in pound sterling and I'm taking euros and I'm taking USD. So I've been and added in 2 extra bank accounts and I'm transferring money out to that bank account. How and when do I take that money out from those bank accounts so I get the best conversion rate? Is that something which you can do automatically on a weekly or monthly basis? Do we have to phone you up? What kind of control do we have?
Absolutely. Well, we provide you with online access so that you can view your accounts. You can view the statements of all your various currency accounts 24 hours a day. You can also execute trades at your convenience, either online, or you can always pick up the phone and deal with somebody over the telephone. We pride ourselves on customer service, and we aim to answer every phone call within 3 rings. You can set up regular transfers, i.e. if you know that you're going to receive US dollars or euros every second Tuesday, you can automate that. Basically, it's up to you. We leave the decisions up to you.
Okay. And other daft question which I've got there, it's just around about the best time. Again, what little I know about currencies is that they move every second. They move all the time. Is there any indicator of when it would be a good time to extract the funds?
Absolutely. Well, it's always a good time to convert your money, but we have trained professionals here who can advise you on various data releases which may move the price one way or the other. We can provide you with graphs, rates, trends. We can tell you where the rate's been. We can't always tell you exactly where it's going because we don't have a crystal ball, but we can ensure that no matter when you trade your money through us, you're going to get a better price than you would have got at that exact time through PayPal or Amazon.
Okay. And sorry, Jason, I've got one other daft question, which is that we've had that payment, say in euros. It's gone to the WorldFirst bank account where we can see our funds there. And those funds, how long does it take us? So just say we do initiate a transfer to pound sterling into our own account, or if you're listening to this, your account. How long does that take? Is it the same day? Does it take weeks? What kind of time frame are we talking?
If you were to log into your WorldFirst account right now and see your euros in that account and request a transfer, so long as that transfer is received by our office before 2:30 p.m., those pound sterling will be in your account that same day.
Whoa. Okay. So is there any downsides to doing this? Which is...
At the minute, no.
It does sound like a cliched thing to say, but everybody basically wins in this. Instead of PayPal or Amazon making a lot of money off of vendors when they're doing cross-border payments, we make a little bit of money and the vendor keeps the difference. Essentially, the marketplace loses out the money that they would make on that foreign exchange transaction, but both ourselves and the vendors are the ultimate winners.
Nice. Okay. So what about fees? So if I want to transfer those £2,000 or the £200,000 out, do I have to get charged per transaction? Do I get charged with creating an extra bank account with you? Where do you guys make your money and how much does it cost me as the merchant?
WorldFirst is able to offer these accounts with zero fees. There are no setup fees. There are no ongoing fees. There's no fees for receiving your money, and there's no fees if you choose to close your account. The only time that you would ever pay a transfer fee is if you're transferring under £500 or 500 euros, and then that fee is 10 euros or 10 pounds, depending on the currency you're selling. So long as you're selling over that amount, you will never pay a fee. The way that WorldFirst makes its money is in the exchange rate. And as I mentioned before, that exchange rate is still vastly better than you'll be getting from a marketplace provider.
Mm-hmm. So picking on PayPal, where they would charge us 4%, you would charge 2%. That's how you make your money there. And as long as we're not pulling out small amounts of funds, then there isn't any additional fees, etc., etc. We can add extra accounts when we need to. And we can phone you up and go, is it a good time to transfer? And you can help us out with that as well.
Absolutely. We can provide advice. We answer the phone within 3 rings, and we're always available. By the end of the year, we'll also be able to roll out to say that we can provide 24-hour service on the telephone. Currently, we're open from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. London time, and moving forward, our customer service center in the U.S. will be able to pick up European client queries after hours as well.
Oh, wow. Okay. Dave, sorry, just going off the script for what we got in front of us right now, is that one of the challenges of setting up a foreign Amazon account, so we're based in the UK and we're using the perspective to go and sell on to Amazon Germany, for example, or Amazon.com, is that number one, you need an address. So that's really straightforward because you can get a forwarding address, which costs peanuts. But the other thing which you do need is a bank account, and this would solve that. So that you could then sell on to Amazon.com or into Amazon Germany, for example, and then use that bank account to receive the funds. And you're winning, again, Amazon's a little bit less at 3.5% for the transfer. You win there as well, because that's one little barrier which is just being dropped down out of the way.
Absolutely. Amazon will make cross-border payments, but as you've mentioned, their pricing is not as competitive as ours is. So they'll happily transfer your US dollars back to the UK for you, but all you need to do is give us a call, register with WorldFirst, and we'll be able to get you better pricing on that.
Nice. Okay. So coming back to the questions which we had lined up originally, sorry, that's just me being curious. Like, can I save money? What are the catches? and can I get support on what the differences are? And I've gone off onto a tangent that would help the business owner if they're looking to sell onto an international site, because they can then get a bank account in euros or locally for that country, etc., etc. Who's your target audience? Is it the big guys, or is it the small guys? Is it the medium ones? Who do you class as your ideal business? Who are you focused towards?
It does sound like almost anyone could use it and benefit from it, really.
Absolutely. Because it's such a scalable service, and because we've been able to keep costs so low, we're able to offer the solution not just to your bigger companies who may be doing a couple $100,000 a month, but also to your smaller sole traders who just have a few things to sell that they'd like to potentially expand outside of their home country and start looking at opening up new markets, whether it be in Europe or in the U.S. So anybody doing from a few hundred a week right up to a few 100,000, we're able to assist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you seen a pickup in people actually contacting you to do the transfers? The reason, again, that might be a really daft question, because we know the kind of push from the marketplaces, especially in the UK, and again, it's taken more prevalence in the United States now, which is to start trading internationally. Is that, have you seen a peak over the last year of businesses reaching out to you to help with the conversions?
Absolutely. Well, we've been tracking at roughly 100% growth for the last 5 years. So we're seeing especially strong demand from vendors based in Asia. And just like you said, we're seeing continued strength in European-based clients who are looking to expand into the U.S. market.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned you do USD, Euro, Pound Sterling, and Canadian dollars. Is there any other currencies in the pipeline? And again, we're not going to hold to you that you've said that you're going to do Australian dollars, for example, but is that a plan to expand that out to other currencies as well?
Absolutely. We're in the final stages with our banking partner out in Australia and hope to be able to offer local AUD receiving facilities out there in the coming weeks. And we've got an eye on future growth in places like Japan, so Japanese yen, Brazilian real, and possibly Mexican peso.
Whoa. Okay, so this would actually work in reverse. So let's just say that I was based in Australia and we did have Australian dollars in there. I could accept pound sterlings, get a better rate than what I would through PayPal. Again, the 4%. It works in both directions depending upon your location, doesn't it?
Exactly. So I've actually just been back from Australia, meeting with some of our Australian clients out there that we've been supporting since 2007, and we're doing exactly that. We've been managing sterling accounts here in the UK, as well as US dollar accounts for them in the United States. And just like you said, we're able to get them better prices when they're moving that money back to Australia.
Nice. Okay. Jason, that sounds really cool. So even if I'm doing 500 euros a week, say 2,000 euros a month, or much, much higher numbers, I'm going to save money no matter which way which I look at it. It's only if it's less than 500 euros, or if it was $500, wasn't it? Then you're going to charge a fee for that. The rest of it's just bundled in. How can someone get in contact with you over at WorldFirst or one of the team there?
Absolutely. Well, there are a number of ways you can get in touch with us. You can call the e-commerce team on 0207-801-1068, and of course, quote UnderstandingE if you do that. Or you can email us in on understandinge@worldfirst.com or visit the partners page on UnderstandingE.
Okay, and just a really daft question. For somebody who's based in the United States, do we have a number which they can ring there?
Absolutely. We've got a toll-free number of 1-866-700-6544. That actually bounces directly to the London team during London hours, and we'll be forwarding through to our local office out in the United States for their workday.
Ace. Okay, so Jason, thank you for the insight into this. Again, I didn't realise that PayPal were charging so much. I knew that it was probably going to be quite high. I know in the past I've just overlooked it. We just wanted it transferred. But 30 quid, that's like a meal out with the wife, but just 2,000 euros being converted. When you get into the really big numbers, £4,000 is an awful lot of money.
Well, exactly. I mean, would you rather have that in your bank account or in PayPal's bank account? It's a no-brainer, really.
Absolutely. Converting the proceeds of foreign sales, I mean, there's just so much to think about when you're expanding into a new market. And unfortunately for a lot of vendors, the conversion rates and the prices they're getting on their foreign exchange often doesn't figure into that. Once they find out about us, though, we're more than happy to help and to help them along as they grow their business.
Excellent. Again, because I'm just thinking, if put myself into maybe your shoes who are listening to this right now, is that you've started to expand internationally. You are starting to accept multiple currencies, and unbeknown to you, when you're transferring it across, you're getting charged 4%. Whereas Jason, you said that we can easily create another bank account for the different currencies. So maybe we're selling in USD, euros and Canadian dollars. We could create 3 additional bank accounts, add those bank accounts in our PayPal account, which is, what happens around the verification of those bank accounts where PayPal would deposit £1 or a random amount in there? We can see that on our screen in our account with WorldFirst, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Our online system is pretty much just what you would see in your online banking. So you would just log in there and you'd see those test payments along with the reference that the PayPal sends. You simply pop those back into PayPal's system and you're ready to go.
Okay. And again, just me playing the devil's advocate there, is that we would then add those bank accounts in, verify them. We would transfer the euros to the euros account, the dollars to the American dollars account, Canadian dollars, etc., or in reverse, depending on where you are. And then that money would then appear pretty much the same day from PayPal in that account. And then we can transfer out at any point in time back to our pound sterling account. Or again, if you're based in the United States and you're transferring pound sterling across into USD.
Exactly. That's exactly how it works. And as we mentioned, whenever you want your money, it's there for you. You can set that up to happen automatically, or you can use the online system 24/7, or give us a call.
Or give us a call. And again, that's the nice thing, which is quite here, is that I know the currencies move up and down. So when we're talking large amounts of money, it could be sometimes advisable to suggest holding off for a day or two, because you expect the market to do something like that. And again, you guys are the experts. So I can phone you up and go, is it a good day to transfer the funds across? I like that. That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
So, Jason, that's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for joining us. And again, we'll pop the contact details underneath this podcast on the UnderstandingE website. And Jason, that's been absolutely brilliant. Again, you've opened my eyes, and thank you for answering all those daft questions to begin with. I had to ask those because it's all in the numbers, isn't it? It's the difference of 2% does equal a lot of money.
Absolutely, and it's been very nice talking to you guys. If you have any other questions or you need anything else from us, please don't hesitate.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.